Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
It's good to see you again.
I was just looking at this flyer about the Dean Show.
Well, that's why we're here.
You walk up.
I got some more good news for you.
Tell me.
We got another good topic, and we'd like to bring you back on to cover it.
All right, it sounds great. Wait a minute. What's the topic this time?
The Trinity.
The Trinity. Okay, let's go talk about the Trinity. That's a good idea.
Allah is enough for me. Handsome Yusuf cried, Allah is enough for me.
Welcome back to the TheDeenShow. I'm your host, Eddie. Now, you coming from a Christian background, your father who knew the Bible very well, he was also a minister. I'm sure you can really help give some insight to this topic, the Trinity.
When we talk about the Trinity, this is not really three gods. This is one of the things that the folks who criticize the Catholic Church, they're the ones who really came up with this idea to start with. And then subsequently, any churches that broke off from the Catholic Church, those who protested, or Protestants, they carried that forward as well. But there are those who criticize the Trinity, not realizing how this all came about. It's not fair. And then there are those who claim to be Unitarians because they say we believe in the unity of God as one. And then the Trinitarians, of course, are saying that God is one, but right away, real fast, but there are three natures to God, or there are three parts within one, or it's the demonstration that I gave about the finger when you can move it like that. So, how did one become three? Let's ask it like that, because in fact, the Old Testament, the Bible, the Jewish belief, and so on, even till today, is God is one, and there's no consideration for anything else, and there's not two, not three, not four. It's one.
So did Abraham ever utter this word Trinity, or Moses, or Noah?
As far as uttering a word Trinity, the word is Latin. None of them spoke the Latin language. They wouldn't have used it anyway. And as far as that goes, the word Trinity itself is not found in any of the scriptures. Not even in the Apocrypha, you don't find this word.
How about for when one says, for there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Son.
But we said the word Trinity is not there. Okay, the word Trinity is not in the Bible, not in any scripture. That word Trinity is not there. It's not until you get to the Quran that you find this word.
So what is this verse that I just quoted you that people use to support the Trinity?
The verse that you're talking about now, this is in John, but it's not John the Gospel. This is John 1, or the first epistle of John. And it's not necessarily even the same John anyway.
Yeah.
It's in chapter 5, verse 7. And it says, there are three that bear witness in heaven, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit, and these three are one. This verse, as a matter of fact, is an addition. And all of the scholars of the Bible agree that this was added many, many, many centuries later by someone who wanted to resolve this issue once and for all and prove that somehow there could be three.
Let me get this straight. So this is not in the original manuscript?
Well, nobody can say it's not because they don't have the original manuscript.
So it's not in the copy of the copy
But it's not in anything. No, it's not in anything within, I think, the first the first 1,000 years. Okay, anything in the first 1,000 years wouldn't have had that. It was added much later in the Koine Greek.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now there were things that were in Trinity, mentioning Trinity, that were injected in some of these Latin copies and so on, but those were rejected anyway. But in the Koine Greek, there was never anything in any of the early manuscripts or anything that came after that that was, anything serious that used this word Trinity.
Yeah.
And nor was there anything with this verse in it. Okay, what it is, it's a takeoff of the verse before it and a rewording of that verse to try to add what they wanted to. It says in the verse before it that there are three that bear witness. the Father, the blood, and the Spirit, and these three agree. The Father, the blood, and the Spirit, and these three agree. And it doesn't say they're all in heaven, and it doesn't say that they are one. It says they agree. But it was a chance for somebody to say, oh, wait, look, here's three things. Now we'll try to wrap it up and turn it into something. There were some very serious fights. And we're not talking about just fights with words. We're talking about the kind of fights where people were being poisoned, people being killed over this subject. That's how really horrible it got by the 3rd century. There was something called Arianism versus the Council of Nicaea. I'm referring to something I have on a website about this. And Arius is the one who was insisting that the nature of Jesus was such that he's not divine and he's not a part of God. But they were always arguing over how you explain the nature of Jesus. Is he created or is he born? Is he begotten or is he not begotten? And the wording on how you would say that would determine whether or not you were considered to be a kafir or a disbeliever. And so that's how this kicks off, and then the Nicaea Council offers a resolution on that. Basically, if you don't agree with this, we'll kill you. It was almost that bad.
Was this over the rule of Constantine?
Constantine was the one basically who was presiding over the council himself, and yet he was a pagan sun god worshiper. He was in the cult called Sol Invictus. Sol is sun in Latin. Invictus means invincible. They believed that the sun was invincible, and they believed that the sun had a sun on earth, which was basically the representative of the sun power, etc. And he considered himself to be that one. And he, only 5 years before this council, he had actually engaged in a war against some of the people who believed in Jupiter as being the god. You know, the planet Jupiter.
Yes.
And the guy who was the son of Jupiter was killed by him in that war. So he considered himself really the big warrior. But to come back to this Trinity business, when Constantine convened this council, what he was looking for is absolution. He wanted to be rid of his guilt and sin for having drowned his, or actually boiling his wife and boiled his son, because of the fear that they would try to compete with him for his position.
Talk
as
about
emperor.
insecurity, huh?
Well, in any case, he found a way to get it done. It was through this one sect of Christianity said that if he would say that Jesus was the Son of God and died for his sins, then they would forgive him of his sins.
Yeah, interesting.
And then the trade-off was then that the Roman government would now be forced to accept this particular sect of Christianity as the royal or the official church of the realm. And with that, this gave these bishops, good position. Because prior to that time, the Roman government was killing people who were Christians and using them for entertainment. Take them out, throw them into the gladiators, throw them out to the lions and bears, things like that. It was horrible. It was disgraceful, and it was, of course. They were killing people.
So up until then, if I get this straight, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, that we had a stream of true monotheism coming from one direction. Then you had another stream coming from another direction, and it seems that this direction of the Trinity came over and Romanized Christianity with all their traditions that were going on.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what we're saying here. Is the more you study this, I don't think you'll see that Christianity became influenced by that. I think this was just Rome's church adapting a few things from them. That's all. Because at the council,